Welcome students to the ISIS program. Welcome to this new course. It doesn't matter which course it happens to be, where you happen to be in the progression towards your ISIS degree. I wanted to give this Camtasia video to just give you a little bit of a boost, shall we say, as you begin your term-long project. Now again, whether this is your first ISIS course, your second, your fourth, your eighth, your final ISIS course, I have found over the years that these types of things are always helpful because, again, I have always emphasized to all of my students, never forget that analytical writing, to be a truly talented analyst, has nothing at all to do with whether or not you are a born talent. Analytical writing, analytical thinking, analytical research is not a born talent. It is grudge work. It is putting in the diligence, putting in the patience, putting in the effort to remind yourself constantly of how to approach a topic, how to do the research, how to even just think about an initial riddle. And that is what today's first little 5-minute video will be about. Looking at your master topics list, regardless of the class. I've chosen here the unofficial first class in the MS ISIS program, PS500, National Security Transnational Interests, so that students will have an understanding of how they should be looking at this topic. Most students, unfortunately, when they first look at it, almost sort of skip past these two highlighted introductory paragraphs and immediately move right down to the numbered list. And I understand. The numbered list is a heck of a lot more exciting. Climate change and potential conflict, diplomacy and the use of force in conflict areas, problems in alliance politics, intelligence collection, and domestic civil liberties. All of these things are fascinating. All of these things are timely and important for us to investigate. And they will be ultimately what you form the basis of your research for the term-long project. But there was a key phrase in that sentence. It forms the basis. It doesn't form the entirety of what you do. Let's take, for example, problems in alliance politics. What will happen quite a bit is I will have students write to me to get their official approval at the beginning of the term. I choose number 7 from the master topic list, problems in alliance politics. They think that's all they need to do. Now they just go pursue. If you simply tried to write a paper on this issue, in the end, that is all you will end up with. Perhaps a good college paper. That is not what we are about in ISIS. That is not what we strive to do. We strive to make you a true scholar, a true analyst, which means producing original scholarship, doing original research, and thus finding a way for you to contribute to the body of knowledge, to have your mark made in an original and new way. How do we do that? That was first done by keeping in mind these two introductory paragraphs on the master topic list. What that list, the numbered list below, is a general categorization of important topics within the discipline. It's meant to give you a direction to begin your preliminary research. It is not meant to define what your paper is about. You are supposed to take the general and go to the specific. Go from the broad and get down into the narrow. You should be aiming to use the Bellevue University Library Database search engine, which will be the next Camtasia video I make available to you, as it is surprisingly high quality in the amount of sources that you can find, and how it can help you begin that process of going from the general to the specific. Because what I have found is students, no matter what stage of the game they may be in terms of their ISIS degree, they often will need the reminder and little helps about how to get from the broad to the narrow. So when you look at these general categories, you just have to keep in mind that that's not going to be your ultimate paper topic. For example, let's take number 2, climate change and potential conflict. Fantastic issue, important issue, completely up to date and utterly contemporary. It will be utterly boring and dull if you try to just write, what is climate change? How might it create conflict in different areas of the world? That's not what we're here for. Maybe you end up finding out, wow, in my preliminary research, this issue of water pollution or air pollution within China and how it affects Chinese domestic politics. That sounds fascinating to me, and I had no idea before I chose number 2 that it even existed. Or maybe I'm interested in the impact of deforestation in South America, not just on the ozone layer, but actually in terms of regional conflict between South American countries. Yet again, something I wasn't thinking about when I chose number 2, but it's something I find in my preliminary research when I'm collecting information. Moving on to number 7 again, problems in alliance politics. You're not looking to write in ISIS a purely theoretical article where you will be highly esoteric. You will choose an actual alliance. Maybe you want to look at Pakistan and India. Maybe you want to look at Saudi Arabia and Iran. Maybe it's more about, Colombia and Uruguay. It really doesn't matter. The point is, you're looking to find the niche. You're looking to go down to the narrow, down to the specific. And number 7 is a perfect example because, quite frankly, if you just wrote to me and said, I'm choosing number 7, problems in alliance politics, and I want to look at Pakistan and India, well, you will quickly find that there is simply an overwhelming amount of research done on the relationships between Pakistan and India. So you are actually going to have to go one step even further. And that is the joy and simultaneously the frustration of original research. You finding your niche, you finding the place where you'll be able to originally contribute to the body of knowledge, sometimes is going to take you 2, 3, 4, even 5 sublayers down to get to an area where you feel competent and you feel comfortable delving into new research. Do not be afraid to do that. The further down the rabbit hole you go, as we say, the more likely the chance is that you will find yourself in a small crowd rather than a large one. And the smaller the crowd of people doing research on this issue, the more possibility and the more ease you will have trying to find where your originality is going to be. Not just how you sit within the body of knowledge, but how you also contribute to it. So keep this in mind in all of your future classes when you look at the master topic list, that this is how you should be looking at it, this is how you should approach it, and know that simply choosing number 2, number 7, number 11, whatever the case may be, that is by far not the end of your journey with the master topic list. I thank you for your time, and I can't wait for an amazing semester.